And welcome back to the Tom Morgan Drum Studio. In our last video, we covered the grip and went into it in quite a bit of detail. Hopefully by now you have purchased the book, A Sequential Approach to Fundamental Snare Drum. And if you look on page 4 in the book, you'll see that there's a pretty extensive description of the grip, the matched grip, that we went over in our last video. There's little drawings that show you what the grip should look like. So if you're still confused about it, you might try reading that again. Also, if you have questions along the way as we move through these videos, feel free to put them into the comments below, and I'll do my best. I have no idea how many comments or questions I'm going to get, but I'll do my best to answer them. So if you're still confused about things with the grip, just hang in there, it will get better. Know this, that a lot of times the grip takes some time to really develop. You're going to get as close as you can as you get started, but you'll find that as you learn to play and you play more and more and you get a little more advanced, your grip's going to evolve a little bit. And I want to make sure that you understand too that everybody's grip is going to look a little bit different because everyone's hands are a little bit different. So it's not like we're trying to make everybody's look the same, exactly like mine. But we want to follow the principles that we found in the last video that will help you find the grip that is really the easiest grip and the most natural for you. So don't be discouraged if you don't find yourself feeling real confident about how you're holding the stick. Just keep playing, because over time it's going to start to feel more and more comfortable. The more you can play, the more you can hit this pad with the stick in your hand, the more you're going to feel comfortable with the sticks, and it's going to start to feel more natural. So today we're just going to do some real simple things on page 5 in the book. Just some sticking exercises that will help us just get some time in playing on the pad with the sticks. And so if you see on page 5, you notice the first one is just with the right hand. So we can relax the left hand. Now, if you're left-handed, you might want to start on number 2 and start with your strong hand, whether it's right or left. But we're just going to do strokes with our strongest hand. So I'll do the right hand at number 1. And I'm just going to bring the stick up a little below eye level, and I'm going to be doing a stroke that is mostly wrist. If you move your forearm a little bit, that's okay, but we're just going to come down, and what we want to do is just throw the stick down into the pad and let it bounce up naturally. This is very much like bouncing a basketball. If you pretend that the end of the stick, this bead here, is just a little basketball, and you're just going to push it down, and the pad should have rebound or bounce that helps you bring it up. Really, the stick is going to come up for the most part by itself. So here's what I'm doing. I'm just playing strokes with my right hand. I'm not going very fast. And I'm holding the stick with the correct grip between the first joint of the index finger, the first joint of the middle finger, and the pad of the thumb. And I'm just going to play some single strokes like this. I can do this as long as I want. It's not the most exciting exercise of all time, but the more you do it, the more natural it's going to seem. So do it for a minute or two without stopping. Don't let yourself start playing real fast. Just nice and slow like this. So you do a complete stroke down and up each time. And notice I'm using my wrist in a waving motion like this. Okay, after I've done my strong hand for a while, I'm going to switch over and do my weak hand. For me, it's the left hand. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Try to keep an even tempo. We don't want it to be just sporadic notes or something. we want to try to be as even as we can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as even as you can get it. Okay? Now, your weak hand's not going to look as coordinated as your right hand or your strong hand. And so, don't be alarmed by that. It's the way it is for everybody. Even now, after 40 or 50 years of playing drums, my left hand still isn't as good as my right. It still doesn't feel as coordinated as my right. But it's pretty close. Okay? Now we'll go on to number 3, which is nothing more than alternating strokes. So now I'm going to bring both sticks up about this height. And I'm just going to play, again, the same tempo, but just alternating right, left, right, left. And again, I'm going to do this for a minute or two. That's a pretty long time when you actually do it. You're just playing single strokes. Nice and even, nice and relaxed. Wrists, waving motion, like that. Okay? When we finish that one, we'll go on to 4, and that's nothing but the reverse of that. So now we're going to start with our left hand. And again, I'll do this for another minute or two if I'm practicing. And then finally, I'll drop down to the bottom one. And this one is a sticking that is called double strokes, right, right, left, left. And it's a pretty important stroke pattern that we're going to need to learn and get used to. We'll see this coming up more and more as we move through the sequence of lessons here in the videos. So, you know, this is really our first introduction to it. So I'm just going to play the same tempo. It should all sound the same, by the way. All of these 5 exercises, if you weren't watching me and you were just listening to it, you shouldn't really be able to tell which sticking I'm using, because I want all my strokes to be the same volume. So I'm going to do double strokes now. Right, right, left, left. And this may be really easy for you, or it may be that you have to think about it a little bit more than you did on the other ones. But you'll get used to it the more you do it. So again, you're going to do this about a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes, you know, like that. So now you can also practice these at various levels of volume. And we call the volume, in music, we call it dynamics. So if I want to play softer than this, I'm going to lower my sticks down to a lower level. Stay on number 5. Notice the volume is softer. If I want to play even softer, I could lower them way down here. Okay. If I want to play louder, I could bring them way up here above where I was before. So stick height will control our volume or our dynamic level. Okay, and we'll talk a lot more about that as we move through too. And related to this whole idea of stick height controlling volume, I also want to mention that when you're doing strokes that involve both hands, stroke patterns, that you want to be sure that both sticks are at the same height if you want both of them to sound the same. So practicing in front of a mirror or videoing yourself to look at later, these are all really good things to just check yourself to say, are my sticks the same height, or am I playing like this? Not realizing it, or even just almost bringing it up to the right height, but not quite. it'll make a difference in the volume. So you want to practice and form the habit of keeping your sticks at the same level so that you're going to get a consistent sound. So that really covers what we're going to do today. Just strokes, single and double, and we're just basically trying to get the grip to feel more and more comfortable and natural to us. In our next video, we're going to start reading music and learning the basics of that. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.